When God Showed Up Again, Part 1. An inspirational and emotional evergreen story. The town of Ashford rarely noticed quiet miracles. There were seasons when everything felt duller than usual. The streets felt emptier. Conversations felt shorter, heavier. People passed each other without asking how life was really going. The excitement of celebration had faded, and what remained was the quiet weight people carried alone. Faith, for many, had become something remembered, not practiced. Hope felt like something people talked about after it had already passed. The celebration was over, and whatever was left behind, people carried in silence. Yet on one ordinary night, when nothing special was expected, something was about to change. The air was cold and still, as though the world itself had exhaled and forgotten how to breathe again. Ethan Cole walked slowly down Main Street, hands buried deep in his coat pockets. He wasn't headed anywhere in particular. Nights like this made his apartment feel smaller than usual. Since his wife passed away 2 years earlier, the silence had learned his name. It followed him everywhere. People talked about new beginnings. Ethan had learned not to trust those words. Across the street, a small community center glowed faintly. One tired light flickered above the entrance. A simple sign hung crookedly on the door. Winter shelter, open tonight. Ethan slowed. He didn't know why. He told himself to keep walking. Helping people didn't bring her back. Faith hadn't stopped the loss. Hope had failed him once. He wasn't eager to invite it back. Still, something tugged at him, and against his better judgment, he stepped inside. Inside the quiet. The shelter smelled of old coffee and disinfectant. Folding chairs lined the walls. A few families sat huddled together, wrapped in donated coats. Children clutched worn backpacks, their eyes heavy with tired curiosity. No music played. No decorations hung. Just people, surviving the aftermath of celebration. Grace stood near the counter, pouring soup into plastic bowls. When she saw Ethan, her eyes widened slightly. "You came," she said softly. "I don't know why," he replied honestly. She smiled, not cheerfully, but gratefully. "That's how it usually starts." Ethan nodded, unsure what she meant. As he helped hand out food, he noticed something. These faces were different. During celebration, pain hides behind smiles. But here, there was no pretending, no performance, just need, just endurance. And strangely, honesty felt holy, a memory he didn't invite. Later, as Ethan leaned against the wall, his mind drifted, unwanted but persistent. Not to last month, but much further back. Bethlehem, long before the celebration. The streets were crowded, noisy, impatient. Mary's breathing was uneven as she leaned on Joseph's arm. Every step hurt. Every moment felt uncertain. "There's no room," the innkeeper said, not unkindly, but firmly. Joseph's voice cracked as he pleaded, "Please, she's so close." The man hesitated, then gestured toward the back. "There's a place with animals. It's not much." And so, hope entered the world quietly, not under banners or applause, but in a stable that smelled of hay and earth. The night was cold. The place was unremarkable, but heaven leaned in. Mary cried out, not only from pain, but from surrender. And when the child was born, nothing looked different. Yet everything was. No kings were summoned. No cities paused. Angels appeared instead to shepherds, men no one noticed, guarding sheep under a dark sky. "Do not be afraid. I bring you good news of great joy for all people." All people, not just the celebrated, not just the strong, the forgotten, the tired, the quiet. Back to Ashford. "Ethan." Grace's voice pulled him back. "You okay?" she asked. He nodded, though his chest felt tight. "I was just thinking," he said slowly. "God didn't come when people were celebrating, did he?" Grace shook her head. "No, he came when they were desperate." That night, the shelter grew colder. The heater struggled. Wind rattled the windows. Outside, the world reminded everyone how harsh life could feel. Then the lights flickered. Once, twice, and went out. Darkness swallowed the room. Children whimpered. Someone gasped. Fear crept in quickly, uninvited but familiar. For a moment, no one moved. Then Grace struck a match. A single candle came to life. Then another. Soon, small flames dotted the room, casting gentle light against tired faces. Ethan watched, something stirring deep inside him. Light didn't wait for conditions to improve. It showed up anyway. Just like that night in Bethlehem. The interruption. The shelter door burst open. Cold air rushed in. A man stumbled inside, panic written across his face. "There's a woman outside," he said urgently. She collapsed. "She's pregnant. I think she's in labor." The room went silent. Ethan's heart pounded. History felt uncomfortably close. Without thinking, he grabbed his coat. Outside, the wind howled. Snow whipped through the air. Somewhere nearby, a woman cried out in pain, fear threading through her voice. As Ethan stepped into the storm, one thought echoed louder than the wind itself. What if this isn't coincidence? What if, after the celebrations fade, God is about to remind the world again? Cliffhanger. End of part 1. Be encouraged. Like, comment and share this with someone who needs hope. Subscribe for weekly faith-filled stories from the quiet light that remind you God is still working.